Howdy campers, fish fam, aquarium people. How are you doing today? Today's June 3rd. I'm in Little Rock and you're where you are. So, what I'm doing today is just a quick tank talk on this 29-gallon Gourami tank. It's kind of a loose Indian subcontinent biotope. And for the moment, I'm just getting tickled by watching these guys. Oh, he was just carrying around a little big a sprig of water sprite, and it was so cute. It was like he was practicing making bubble nest stuff. I hope I got a little bit of that for you. Anyway, so what is this tank? Yeah, 29 gallon, kind of a standard size. It's an older tank that was repurposed. This one, a Facebook friend gave me a shout out and said, "Hey, I'm going to be getting rid of this tank. Do you want it?" I said, "Yeah. Where? Where? Just come pick it up. I'm going to leave it outside." Cool. So when this aquarium was originally set up here in my little boy's room, Beaster, it was a 20 gallon, and it was made inside of this armoire that I've had since I was, gosh, probably about 8 years old or so. And this back in the days of big clunky TVs, I had the shelves lower and I would put a TV down. Even, gosh, until I was an adult, I kept a TV in the top of this. And then the days of flat screens came and I stopped using the armoire. So it just held knickknacks and stuff. And then once I had a little boy, this thing ended up in his room. And his Christmas, or one of his presents for the Christian Christmas stuff last year, December 25th. He was 5 years old at the time. He got his first aquarium, a 20-gallon tall, and it didn't quite fill this space up. And then about 3 months later, I acquired the 29-gallon, and it just looked like it fit a lot better in here. So some of you may have seen my video where I was actually creating this when I was going back, and I had to pull the back out of the armoire, like literally like pry it apart, take it apart from the backside because this tank would not fit in the front no matter how I tried. Even with all the shelves out, I had to take the back out, kind of turn it weird, and then put the dirt and sand and such in while it was in here. There is a little bit of some like drawer liner. That's just something I like to put under aquariums anytime possible. It's still, I put the things here so we can still close the doors. And when I first built this tank, that was kind of more of an issue because there was a little bit of a glow from the heater that was in here. There was some trickling from the hang-on back filter. I do usually run a hang-on back anytime I start up an aquarium, just for the first short period. But these gouramis really didn't need it. It's now a fairly heavily planted tank. It only has 3 male dwarf gouramis in here. They are from India. We have 3 different color varieties. There were 4. We had 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, and blue fish. They are now 1 fish, 2 fish, and red fish, and or something like that. But anyway, I do have a couple of plants that break the biotope. One is AR Alternantheria renickii. The other is Pogostemon stellatus octopus, and that's just because I have a lot of these plants. They grow very well for me in my water. Beyond that, there are some other cool things that do find themselves in India. The big obvious plant is there's a lot of Hygrophila deformis in here. There's also some Hygropenetifera. There is the little bit of water sprite, which is a fern, which is down here in the bottom right corner. It just doesn't grow very well in here. There's also a Java fern in there that's breaking the biotope. I think you can kind of see it on that rock in there. There is, this was sold to me as a limnophila. I do not believe it to be. It looks more like Miro or something, but it's not. I haven't quite ID'd it. Uh, it may be an Ambulia of some type, but or at least the guy who sold it to me argued, no, that's what it is. And I was going, dude, I've been keeping plants in aquariums a long time. I've had that plant before, and it's not what you say it is. So, cool, whatever. If anyone has Limnophila sessiflora in the U.S. or Arkansas, let me know. I'd love to buy some from you. I haven't been able to find it live. It is legal here in my state, but it's very difficult to come by in the United States because it is not legal in quite a few other states. In fact, in at least two of the adjacent states to me, Texas and Louisiana, I believe, it is not legal to carry and trade, etc. But while it is, and I want an Indian plant, if you have it, please let me know. Drop me a line. I'd love to trade something, do you a favor, give you some dollars, whatever it takes to get that plant from you, please. If not, no worries. I'm in the same boat. Let's see, what else is growing in here? Java moss, that's kind of breaking the biotope as well. There's Rotala rotundifolia in the back, and I'm sure there are more plants that I haven't named yet. That's probably a small, maybe Wendell Java fern. It might just be a piece of of a regular Java fern. Anyway, there are several caves in here, and we might get a view of another plant that I haven't listed yet. But the caves, it's not so much that dwarf gouramis are cave dwellers. They're just shy. They usually like pretty densely planted, slow-moving water. They don't care if the water's crystal clean. They just need it to be healthy. They don't want it to be fast-moving. They really don't like a lot of bright light or big, wide-open spaces. These are the shyest fish I keep. Part of that is because dwarf gouramis are kind of shy by nature. The other part of that is their introduction to life here at our home involved a 5-year-old sticking his arm down in the aquarium and splashing around. So they're timid. I get it. I would be too. There are also ramshorn snails in here. What are those? Endopleonorbis. I can't remember the exact species name. Endopleonorbis, whatever. Ramshorn snails. They are from India. They're part of the biotope. They check off another box for me. I've been running this tank as it is, I guess, a couple of months since I converted it to deep substrate. And, really I didn't even have any trouble with this tank when it was just gravel, being that there are just 3 gouramis in here. Or were 4. I guess we can say that was one trouble. There were 4 gouramis. One of them died very suddenly and unexpectedly. I'm not sure what got it. It's been at least 6 or 8 weeks since that happened. My son was kind of been out of shape. He found it and said, "Dad, one of the fish is dead." And I was like, "What? Nuh-uh." And sure enough, one of the red gouramis was just kind of down at the bottom doing its, march to the underworld. And that was kind of a sad day because I really don't know what got it, and I'm the sort of person who likes to know. Whatevs. Plans that we've got for this stuff. In the aquarium hobby, usually if you go down to a pet store or whatever and purchase dwarf gouramis, you're probably going to be buying males separate from females. They might not even offer females. It took me a while to figure this out. I've actually looked in several tanks of gouramis for sale going, dang, these just all look like males to me. I don't see any that look like females. And I learned some about the fin pattern. Let's take a look at that actually. So you see these, the back of the dorsal fin, how it's kind of got a point, or comes to a point. That's indicative of maleness. Let's see this one as well. Comes to a point. And where'd our other one go? I've lost. Okay. Oh no, he's over here facing me. He's looking at me head on, so I didn't have a good way of seeing. Now this is the more natural color variation. Some people call it turquoise or whatever, but that's very akin to the what they would look like in the wild. This red coloration, totally bred by humanity, and this is called powder blue. Again, this is just a morph that's been bred, and again, this one's like nest building. Like, I'm gonna get over here and make something, and yeah, that's cool. This is some good behavior. So I take from that that this dude's comfortable, he's happy, he would really like to find a mate. I know the feeling. So, yeah, me and my wife are going through a divorce right now. Not very fun. It's kind of had me down, kind of not enjoying life nearly as much over the last, well, since really this year began. But that's totally separate. I've got fish and plants to keep me happy, and not that that replaces your family, but these things certainly bring joy and peace and happiness to folks such as myself. And I think many people in the world can benefit from having an aquarium, from the tranquility, the peace, the zen, the love of nature that you can gain, the love of gaining further knowledge that you can gain and glean from having something like this. It's true serenity and joy, experiencing a little bit of nature as it could be. I would encourage people to try something like this, like a biotope. Now, this is a pretty simple one, and it is a broken biotope, as I've got some of these, like the AR and what else? Java moss, Java fern that don't really belong in here. But over time, I'm going to be working toward this really being a true to form Indian biotope. I'll pull things that don't match or don't fit the biotope out and try and replace them continually with things that do. And that's fine. In the beginning, I didn't have 4 pounds of Indian plants or native Indian plants or even endemic Indian plants or whatever. So I made do with what I had and stuck a few other things in there, like the Java moss. It benefited, and I don't see a lot of harm in it, especially if you think that, oh, this is for now, for the health of the tank, and then once I level up as a fish keeper or whatever, I can get some other stuff, trade that stuff out for others. Pogostemon, I do not think that it really finds its way over into India or Western India, which I think is a little closer to what I'm going for. But whatever, it's still kind of in the general part of the world. If an asteroid hit that part of the world, it might throw some Pogostemon into India, whatever. Not that I'm hoping for that at all. Let's pray for India and the rest of the world. The whole world needs love, so get out there, share some love, do something nice for someone else. If you dig this sort of thing, give me a like, subscribe, share. I will continue doing some tank talks as I have time and availability. These are raw, unedited, so it doesn't really take me much more than about 15 minutes to record. I'm usually just going off the top of my head, so there's no preparation, and then load straight to the webs. So please enjoy. Give me some comments. If there's anything you'd like to see, shoot me a line, and I will try and get some footage. Beyond that, I've got at least another 10 tanks or so to do a tank talk like this. Hope you enjoy. Have a great day. Enjoy the weekend. Bye.